Are there alternatives to a dental deep cleaning treatment, also known as a SRP or a scaling and replaning treatment? That's a question I had to set out to answer for myself, and I was able to make my gums healthy again and uh, verified by my dentist, and that I no longer needed that treatment, which I never had so far, and I hope to never have. So typically, also something you may or may not be aware of is they typically need to redo these treatments every 1 to 3 years. So it's something to keep in mind. Now, you should always be under the care of your dentist or periodontist, but I will tell you that if you are not happy with the service of your dentist or periodontist, then you have every right to go find another dentist or periodontist. That's your right as a patient. And you find one in your local area and find one that wants to work with you instead of against you, if that's what you're interested in doing. So the problem is that this gum disease thing affects 3 out of every 4 people. You know, you can ask your dentist about that. Most dental professionals will say that number. About 75% of people have gum disease right now. So that sounds hard to believe because you're like, well, I don't know anybody, but the problem is they may not even be aware that they have it. So that's part of what keeps this problem hidden, and it has been called a silent epidemic in the past, which essentially it is if 75% of people have this problem. So if you've been told you need a dental deep cleaning or scaling or replaning treatment, that probably does mean you have gum disease, even if it wasn't spelled out to you. So you can go back and ask your dentist to verify that if you want. But that's probably if they're telling you need that treatment, that's probably what they're really saying. So I don't know why there seems to be a reluctance, not all the time, but with some dentists, they don't necessarily tell their patients what's going on, only that they need this treatment. So be wary of that and be aware of it. Now, I'm going to give you a clue right now that should help you, so pay close attention to what I'm about to say. What is the only objective measurement that I'm aware of? Well, that objective measurement is your periodontal pocket depths. Okay? That's the objective way, the only objective way I know of to gauge the health of your gums. Ultimately, you're subject to the opinion of your dentist, and that's why I said before, if you have a problem with your dentist's opinion, you have every right to find another one in your local area. So keep that in mind, because you might also be surprised to learn that if you go to 3 different dentists, you're very likely to be told 3 very different things about what needs to be done to your mouth. So if you don't believe me, that's okay. Just go get yourself another dentist, and you'll find out that what I'm saying is generally accurate. So anyway, getting back to the periodontal pockets. So this is a measurement that your dentist or your hygienist can take. And what I like to do when I get in the chair is the first thing I say is, tell me what my periodontal pocket depths are and call the numbers out. So this is something that they should be doing on every visit. They know exactly what that means. And if they're not doing it anyway, ask them to do it, because that is what they should do. And they should tell you what those numbers are. And basically what you're looking for is, generally speaking, 3 millimeters or less. Most dentists would say your gums are healthy at that point. Above 3, it would be said you have a problem. So now you know that basic fact about the objective measurement. I want you to think about the second question. Is it possible for your pocket depths to shrink? And the answer, fortunately for all of us, is yes, it is possible. And so essentially what happens is when you shrink the pockets down to 3 millimeters or less, you have prevented the bacteria to accumulate in large enough quantities to destroy tissue. And so when you keep your pockets at 3 millimeters or less, generally speaking, you have arrested the disease process. Of course, that's subject to the opinion of your dentist, so you do need to ask them about that. But generally, those are the objective numbers, and you can use that as a kind of gauge. So now that you know that, you should have a goal. You want to get your pockets down to 3 millimeters or less. And if you are able to do that, you can revisit with your dentist. Say, look, you know that treatment you told me about that you wanted to do on me. You know, how are my gums now? And you know, if they are 3 millimeters or less, you can ask them, look, can we? Does that mean I'm, don't need that treatment anymore? And if the dentist is uh, um, being, let's say, intellectually honest, maybe I should say it that way, then they should say, yeah, you don't need that treatment anymore. However, that doesn't always happen, so you may have to go to plan B, which is if you're not happy with your dentist, find another one. And, that might be the case for you. I don't know. You're going to have to work with your dentist and see how they work with you. But in any case, you need to be under the care of a dentist, somebody who can monitor the situation and make sure that you actually are getting better. So what I did is I did a number of things. I tried a whole bunch of stuff, and there was nothing that worked. I did this for like 2 years, and then finally I did run across something that helped me. It's a device called the Hydra Floss, and I'm going to put 2 links underneath this video for you. You can check out the machine there. And what you benefit to buying through those 2 links, which go to one of my 2 stores, which say Toothy Grins on it, the benefit to that is that you can call me up once you make a purchase, and I'll be glad to tell you what I know. And you can ask me questions, and I can tell you about my experience, the experiences I've had with my patients. I'm sorry, not my patients, that's not accurate, my customers over the last 10 years. So yeah, I am not a dentist or a doctor, so I don't have patients, but I do have customers. And I'll be glad to answer your questions about my experience, my understandings, and also the experiences of others, and what you could possibly do to give yourself the best chance to shrink those pockets down. And then you can take action with that information, go back to your dentist, say, hey, did my pockets shrink? And they can measure them for you again, and you can go from there. So I hope this gives you some hope that there is an alternative. There may be, let's say there may be an alternative. There might be one that works for you. Every human body is different, and nothing's guaranteed to work for 100% of the people 100% of the time. That would be impossible when regarding health issues or health things. But maybe in your mind it's worth a try to see what happens. Those deep cleaning treatments are expensive. There is some researchers have concerns that the deep cleaning, scaling, or replaning treatments actually lead to gum recession or cause gum recession. So, you definitely probably would want to avoid that if possible. I'm not saying that happens. I'm just saying that researchers have kind of raised that question, and there are people out there with the opinion that it does. So, that's another reason to try and avoid that treatment if possible. But you've always got to work with your dentist, ask your dentist what they think. And like I said before, if you're not happy with what your dentist says to you, you have every right to go seek opinion from another dentist. So you can explore the links below. I would love to hear your comments and stories below with this problem or anything related to it, because there's a lot going on out there, and when you start to put information together, it gives you a better picture. You become a more informed consumer of healthcare, dental care, etc. And so that's kind of what it's about. And so I hope this video helped you. Like it, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. And I've got those 2 links below this video that you can explore further. Thanks for watching.